Hi, I'm Fiona from Lay Bear Waxing Salon, and thank you so much for your sugar purchase. So we've been around in Studio City for almost 8 years. We're actually celebrating our 8-year anniversary next week on the 23rd. So this is really a great way to celebrate that anniversary. We thank you for your support during this lockdown. Your purchase actually helps keep us afloat. So this is the sugar that you purchase. It's a 32-ounce jar and weighs about 2 pounds. If you're like me who sugared for over 2 decades, this will give you, like, for me, about 20 to 25 Brazilian waxes. But if you're new to sugaring, you will use a lot more and probably just be able to do about 10 to 12. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce our training manager, Shirley, and she will describe to you what we're gonna use, and we're gonna do a little demo so you can do this at home easily. Thank you.
Hi everyone, thank you for your support. We can't wait to reopen and see you all again, but in the meantime, we don't want you to shave. So I'm gonna go through a quick demo on Fiona's arm. I really highly recommend you practice on the inside of your arm with the consistency of the sugar until you get it down before you apply it anywhere else on your body. So we are gonna do a quick cleanse. So you want to take your cleanser, make sure that the skin is clean and dry before you apply the sugar. And we microwave this a little bit. I did 30 seconds. You don't want it hot. You don't want it to liquefy. You want it to just be soft and warm. So when you go in to check the temperature, dip your stick in, make sure that it's not runny. You want a very thick caramel-like consistency, almost like taffy. And what we do is...
We forgot to put on our gloves.
We put, well...
That's okay.
Put on your gloves.
If you're doing this at home, they can actually do it on...
Right, you're doing it on yourself, so you can do it without the gloves.
So Shirley, is that what you recommend, just 30 seconds for the
30
heating?
seconds, it depends on the microwave, so it varies. So you might do another 10 or 20 after that, as long as you get this soft, tacky consistency. Again, don't overheat it, don't liquefy it, because it can burn the skin if it goes on hot. You want to just warm it up to soften it. And so Fiona's hair is growing in this direction. So what you want to do is you want to go opposite the hair growth. And what that does is it lifts up the hair follicle, and you go over it very gently, about 3 times, and take your time with the drag, let the sugar do the work, keep the skin taut, and it's kind of like a flick, tap, flick, off. Again, you want to practice on your arms or your legs before you do your bikini line, because that's a little more complicated. It's a sensitive area. So it takes about a day or 2 or 3 of practice on your arms and legs before you can do a more complicated service like the bikini area.
So what is that you're doing right now?
So to get control of the sugar again, I'm kind of just kneading it back into a ball. And then you want to give it a little pinch at the end. Get it at the tips of your finger. And again, you're going against the growth and you're pulling with. Again, let the sugar do the work. So this is warm and soft. When you get to the end, kind of push it all the way. I still have a lip right here of the sugar wax. You don't want to be pressing down on it because it's going to be difficult to lift. So you want to keep a 90-degree angle on your fingers. Keep the skin taut. Flick, tap, flick, tap.
So what do you do, for example, that the sugar hardens in the middle of the procedure? What can they do?
So you can have a little bowl of water, just re-wet your fingertips, and then knead that in to the sugar. It'll re-soften it. Once the sugar seems very difficult to spread because it's full of hair, you want to just throw this away and get a new bowl of sugar again. Again, we want to keep your skin and your follicles clean and clear to prevent any ingrowns or any blemishes from happening.
Do you suggest like any difference in consistency if you're doing arms, legs compared to the bikini wax or the face?
Once you become more comfortable with the consistency, you can go softer. I would say for practice, keep your sugar firm because then it's easier to remove it. The softer the sugar is, the quicker you can do a spread and the larger area you can cover. But if you keep it firm, just do small sections at a time, probably no more than an inch or two long on the bikini area at a time. And again, you want to go against, you're spreading against the growth of the hair and you're pulling with the growth of the hair. So pay attention to the way that the hair is growing. And any more questions?
Yes, I do have another question. So maybe there's somebody who buys the wax who's never been to lay bare. They don't know how to perform a Brazilian wax. So where do you start? You know, just go through all those tiny body parts down there?
Okay. So if you are performing a bikini wax on yourself, you want to keep your skin pulled up and taut, and you're going to spread up because the hair is growing down, so you're going to spread up and you're going to flick down away from you.
So start on each side?
You start on each side, on the outside of the thigh, working your way in.
Okay, and then when we get to the middle, and that's you know, really sensitive part, just use 2 fingers.
Yes, you want to keep your spreads very, very small, no bigger than a Band-Aid. You don't want to do a whole large section at once. You want to keep your sections really small and keep your skin very taut. And the flicks are very, depending on how thick your hair is, you kind of want to flick with force. If you don't, it's like ripping a Band-Aid off. If you're doing it really gently, you're gonna get it stuck. So you wanna use enough force to get the sugar off.
How about for the face? Are there any tricks, like which direction? It's hard to tell on your face how the hair growth is.
So I would apply the sugar going out, and then I would flick up towards the nostrils, keeping the skin taut.
Okay.
And I would do one side, and then the other, and then you can go in and get that middle if there's anything left. And we do sometimes go in with tweezers. The sugar is safe to go over the skin more than once, but of course if you ever see any irritations, then just discontinue.
Okay, do you want to finish this and then we can do the aftercare?
Sure, let me grab a little water. Sorry.
Okay, so that does happen since your sugar is exposed to the environment, you know, there's air, etc. And after using it, it does become hard because our sugar is, you know, all natural. It's actually made of just 4 ingredients. It has sugar, honey, lemon, and just water. So you can actually eat it. Not right now with all my hair, but originally it's edible.
So all I did is wet my fingertips a little bit. You don't want to add a lot of water because it will dissolve the sugar. And what I'm doing is I'm pitching that water in, because if it's sitting on the outside of your sugar, it's just going to make it slimy and it won't grab the hair. So when you want to soften your sugar, wet your fingertips, pinch it in, kind of pull it, yawn it out, and fold it over itself as if it was taffy. Pinch it in, yawn it out, and that will make the water go into the sugar and soften it without just sitting on top and dissolving it.
Is that a good size ball for a bikini wax? For example, for our members who come in monthly?
I would use about, yes, I think this is ½ an ounce.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
good. So
at a
it's
time.
very
At a time.
yeah. It seems like we didn't even use any of the sugar.
Yeah,
yet.
so 1 pot will go a long way. You can get about, depending on how much hair you have, you can get, I'd say at least 10 Brazilians out of 1 pot of sugar.
Trying to new ones now.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go back.
So I'm going against the growth of the hair. Let the sugar do the work. Don't rush the spread, because then you're gonna pull on the hair and it feels very uncomfortable. So you wanna just let the sugar melt onto the skin. I'm going to go over it 3 times to make sure that it's really grabbing onto that hair follicle. Keep the skin taut. I have a little lip of sugar right here, keeping the skin taut. It's a flick, tap, flick. And you want to pull parallel to the skin, never up. You don't want to lift your skin, and you're also going to break the hair. So you want to go parallel to the skin whenever you are trying to remove the sugar. So I'm starting with my ball. It's at the fingertips. I'm at a 90-degree angle, and I'm keeping a lip of sugar right here. I'm not flattening it down. Keep the spread slow. About 3 times, because you really want it to grab that hair, so take your time with this, especially if you're new to it. And I'm going to go past my spread. That allows me to flick, tap, flick.
So let's just finish my half arm, and when we can apply the soothing cream.
Again, I'm getting control of my ball of sugar, so kind of just want to ball it up again. 90-degree angle, spread against the growth of the hair, taking your time, letting that sugar grab on without dragging onto the hair. About 2 or 3 times. Keeping the skin taut, parallel to the skin. It's a flick, tap, and flick it off. Applying pressure also helps with the pain. It reduces the pain a little bit. It calms the nerves down.
Yeah, so you see a little redness, but it's gonna go away in a few minutes. Do you find it easier to sugar with or without gloves on?
If I'm sugaring on myself, I don't really need the gloves. The gloves are really to protect myself and my clients.
But is there a difference in like the ability to do the
I feel
procedure?
like it's easier to get control of the sugar if you're new to this without the gloves.
Okay.
So you can use the gloves if you feel like it's too messy and you don't want it on your hands, but I feel like if you're new, you kind of want to get the feel for this. So it's better to just use your fingertips.
Sure. And if you guys cannot find sticks, although those are available at 99 cents, you can just use a spoon. Just use a spoon.
Yeah, just a spoonful of sugar. So my sugar right now is really firm, and that's why it's easy to remove. If you're having problems removing it, it probably means that you've softened your sugar a little too much. Just wipe it down with a warm towel. This is water soluble, so wipe it down with a wet warm towel, wipe it off, and start fresh. Just get a little bit firmer with your
We
sugar.
forgot something again, Shirley. Forgot to apply cornstarch.
No, I applied cornstarch.
You did?
I did.
Okay.
I did.
So the cornstarch also helps when somebody is really sweaty.
Yes, if you have perspiration, if you're a little nervous,
Yes.
A little bit of cornstarch on the skin, it'll absorb all that moisture and help the sugar stick better.
And also
to
if
the
they
hair.
get stuck, to pick it up, doesn't the cornstarch make it easier to
Yes,
pick up?
you can try to salvage the sugar by adding cornstarch. So if you've softened your sugar too much and it's just a melted mess on your arm, you dab on a little cornstarch, pat it dry, give it like a few seconds to just absorb that moisture again and harden. And then what you do is you go in with your ball and you tap it down onto that melted sugar, keep the skin taut, and you flick it off. So that way you can conserve the sugar if you don't want to just wipe it down and throw it all away. You can try to salvage it by flicking it off with a firmer wax. So the firm wax will grab the soft wax if that happens.
we're good. So how do we discard of that?
So of course this is no longer usable. You're gonna throw this away, and you want to calm and cool the skin down after your application. Wrong bottle.
So that's the soothing cream that we apply at the branch. It's made of aloe vera and tea tree. So this suits basically your skin right after procedure. It's also pretty cool. So it's comfortable on the skin, and it has like anti-itch factors.
Yes, it's aloe, chamomile, and tea tree oil. So it's calming, it's cooling.
Yes,
and
I love
the
the
tea
feeling.
tree oil. It has a little bit of antiseptic in it, so
Should get rid of the redness and
it gets rid
possible
of the rinse and it calms the
irritation.
skin down.
And sometimes I get itchy right after a sugar session,
it
so
helps.
it does help a lot.
Right.
So any final tips for our purchasers?
I'd say if you get stuck, if you have questions, you can email us with your
Yes.
questions, and we'll do our best to like help you out and solve your problems with the sugar. And
Yeah, so just to show you, it's very economical. You can actually sugar your whole family with this. Again, thank you, and we hope to see you in Studio City very soon. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.